Unbelievable. But wasn't anticipated that this would be the case. But obviously what I said about that lunatic running the United States right now has upset a majority of our subscribers, and I don't care whatsoever. You can go and unsubscribe. There are thousands of subscribers here that want to listen to what I've got to say. They're interested in the magnetic pole shift. But with what you are defending right now, that president, with what he is coming out with, is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and you're the laughing stock of the world. And you know what? I've got no sympathy, for those people whatsoever. Oh, they've been telling me, oh, we're going to unsubscribe. You're going to lose 50% of your audience. It's not going to happen. It is absolutely not going to happen. I don't care what you think about my opinions. I think I'm pretty on ball here with what I've said. He's a lunatic. When you turn round to your neighbour, who is your ally, and say, we're going to annex you and we're going to make you the 51st state, that is insulting. When you turn round to Panama and say, we're going to take that canal back off you, you're not making any friends. When you turn round to the Gulf of Mexico, Mexico Prime Minister, and tell her that you are going to slap 25% tariffs on their country, as well as Canada, you're not making no friends at all. When you go round and say you're going to steal Greenland off them when they don't want you, you're just going to impose yourself on them like a rapist. You know what? You ain't making no friends whatsoever. When you turn round to the punished people of Gaza, the Palestinians, after what they have had happen to them, whilst the whole world has stood by and watched their country be turned to rubble, and tell them that you are going to turn it into a Mediterranean Riviera, no friends are going to be standing by your side at that point. You have a ridiculous president right now who has only been in power 2 weeks, just a little over 2 weeks, and he has met nothing but enemies around the world, imposing tariffs on China, saying, I will end the conflict in Ukraine and Russia in 24 hours. He has no inclination of the situation, of any of the topics that he has recently spoke about. You know what? I just think that all those 100-odd executive orders that he has just written are just being laughed at. And it's just a matter of time. Watch this. This guy's going to get impeached. He's going to be thrown out of the White House within 6 months of him being in there, if he doesn't keep his mouth shut and somebody does not rein him in. And the Americans love him. Half of the country loves him. Half of the country hates him. But I can see why half the country hates him. Because of the rubbish that he has came out with over the last 2 weeks. Absolutely embarrassing every American citizen in that country, and trying to threaten to impose sanctions, tariffs on the UK. I think sometimes the Americans think that they are the most powerfulest nation in the world, but even though we're a small island in the Atlantic Ocean, we are still a formidable force. You guys are babies. You've had a nation for a little over 200 years. We have been at this game for over 2,000 years here in the UK. We have fought the Romans, the Danes, the Vikings. Our war history goes back well before any of you over there in the United States. You live in a brand new country, and your country is made up with refugees, believe it or not. You stole that country off the native Indians. Remember that. And you are a smidgen in the history of the grand things. And if you think that we're a pushover here in the UK, you're very wrong. Because we have, just like you do, nuclear missiles. And yes, you have thousands more than us, but we've got enough to turn Washington DC, if we wanted to, if it came to it, into glass. We have enough nuclear weapons in the UK to make the United States glass. So, you guys need to twist your head back on your shoulder and suck it up, because what is going on right now cannot be justified with reason. There is a lunatic in power in the White House who is just thinking he can do what he wants. He can have the Gaza and turn it into a Riviera. He can take Canada and turn it into the 51st state. And you know what? Yeah, we'll use Greenland as a military base. We can do what we want. No. There is such things called international law, which your president at the current moment is ignoring by entertaining the likes of President Netanyahu, who is wanted by the international community and the international law and has a warrant out for his arrest. And if you don't respect international law, then you don't respect world peace. And if your place is not in the future to secure world peace, then you deserve exactly what you get coming to you. With regards to the tariffs, it's only going to make you Americans more poorer. Do you understand that? And if you can't handle listening to the truth, then switch me off, unsubscribe and disappear, and don't ever come back. I don't care. If you can't handle the truth, and when something is wrong, take that on board and deal with it, then that's your problem. You have a problem. But right now, the things that your president is coming out with are ridiculous. And I'm going to say this, yes, we've got problems with our Prime Minister over here as well. And, he is rubbing everybody up the wrong way in this country. And it won't be long before he is removed. Guarantee you that. He won't last his term out in this country before he resigns. Because he has gone back on everything in his manifesto that he promised he wouldn't do. And, the British public are not going to put up with that. So, I'm just saying, you've got to call it out when it needs to be called out. When something ain't right, you can't just turn a blind eye to it. And what with President Trump is coming out with, it's not right. You have to call it out. It's not right. We all want change. We all want things to get better. Everyone's suffering, with, the cost of living crisis. That's all what we're mainly concerned about, our families in our own homes. But when something ain't right, you don't have to put up with it. And the things he's coming out with are just not right. He's insulted your neighbours. Canada, Mexico, at both ends in 2 weeks. He slapped trade tariffs on China. He's going to slap trade tariffs on Europe. He's going to make you segregated from the whole world. And I'll tell you now, you don't want that. You are lucky at this moment still to have a global currency, the dollar. But continue with this president and you will ostracize everybody around the world. And you will not like that. You will go through hyperinflation faster than British Airways. This has got to stop. He needs to be impeached. If he can't control himself, then he needs to be impeached. This is ridiculous. I can't even believe, some of the comments I have read in this video that I've put up there. It just shows that people have, no debatable skills whatsoever. I'm surprised to even see this guy here, Smoking Dough Trailer, if that is the real guy I'm thinking of, that I used to, listen to a few years ago on YouTube. I am shocked that he has taken that tone with me, but fair enough, you're entitled to your own opinion. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. But if you think what President Trump is doing right now is helping the Americans, then you're delusional. End of story.